Hello, Isaiah here with Cheeky Scientist. And for those of you who have been interested in joining the association, we've had a lot of questions come in about what the association is, a lot of concerns about if it's right for your background or for where you are currently in your career, if you're a PhD student or a postdoc. We've sent out emails. If you didn't get our email, I'm going to recap everything here. Basically, we took all of your questions that have come in over the week and over the last couple of weeks, and we've narrowed them down to 12 common questions that have been asked. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through those questions. I'm going to answer them. If at any time you want to learn more about the association, all you have to do is go to phdsgethired.com. It's just easier to remember that URL, phdsgethired.com, and it will take you to our association informational page. So the first question we get asked is, I don't know where to start. Is the association still a good fit for me? Absolutely. One of the reasons we created the association is so that PhDs can follow the right sequence of transitioning into industry. Now, what most people do is they just randomly search for job titles that they like, and then they go after those jobs. But what you should do as a PhD is you should figure out the professional lifestyle you want first. Do you want to travel extensively? Do you want to work on projects for a very intense amount of times, like a management consultant, right? Traveling, if you're okay with traveling a lot, maybe you could be an application scientist or a medical science liaison or in a technical sales role, whatever it might be. But you have to ask yourself those kinds of questions. You have to make industry no longer a black box, right? Because as a PhD, we think, okay, there's academia and industry, but there's a lot of options in industry, and so what we do is break down all of those options for you and help you fit yourself into the right position for you. And we go over a lot of different positions in the association, and we're constantly bringing on professionals in a variety, hundreds of different types of careers, PhD level careers, so that you can learn from these professionals and see if that career is right for you. Another question that we get asked a lot is the association fake? Is it a scam? No, it's not fake. I'm a real person. I'm not a robot. One of the reasons that we spend so much time interviewing associates who have transitioned successfully and PhDs who have gone on to work in industry successfully is so that you can see that this is possible for you too. When you're an academic, whether you're a PhD student or a postdoc, it's very easy to think, well, my situation is very unique. I could never get a job in industry. It's very easy to have a poor academic mindset because postdocs, for example, are paid half of what they're worth in industry. So you can't even fathom making $90,000 a year in industry. But that is the average that a PhD makes in industry. We show these statistics all over our site. And if you go to our page, phdsgethired.com, you can see those statistics. But it is possible for you. Your PhD may not be valuable in academia, but it's very valuable in industry, so you have to remember your value. And as far as whether or not the association's fake, just go to the page I just said, phdsgethired.com, and scroll down and look at all of the videos we have. We have dozens and dozens of videos of real PhDs who you can find on LinkedIn, who you can talk to, start your own conversation with, PhDs who are in industry in a variety of careers, PhDs from life science background, physical sciences, engineering, humanities, education, both STEM and non-STEM, every different type of background who have transitioned successfully as associates. So go contact them yourself. You'll see these are real people with real jobs. Again, not robots. Also, another question that we get a lot is, I don't need to transition right now, but I need to wait, or should I wait? I'm a PhD student, for example. I don't have a PhD yet. Should I wait? Absolutely not. On average, for a PhD level job, it can take you anywhere from 1 year, so 12 months, all the way up to 2 years, right? So that's a long time to transition, especially if you're trying to do it by yourself. It takes time to build up industry credibility. It can take time to build up a strong job referral network. And that's why we created the association, so you can have access to these things right away. But if you think you're going to find time while you're writing your thesis to do everything it takes to get a job in industry, you're wrong. You're going to finish your thesis and you're going to become unemployed. And you're going to feel urgency to get some sort of job, so you're going to become a postdoc, and then the path will continue and you'll end up being a postdoc for many years. Right now, the average postdoc is 6 to 10 years. Used to be 1 to 3. And it's because PhDs don't prepare in time for anything else outside of academia. They think, I got to do my thesis, my publications, and even if even PhDs who know they're going into industry, they do not prioritize their job search at all or their career development at all. Instead, they just stay very narrow-minded and focused, thesis, publication, even though they want to go into industry. So you have to start prioritizing your job search very, very early. And we have over 20% of our associates are PhD students. About 40%, 50% are postdocs. Another question, I don't have a visa or resident card, right? Can I still join the association? Can the program help me? Absolutely, the program can help you. One of the examples I like to use is Shaya. She didn't have a visa, right? Came to the US, didn't have a visa, took 2.5 years off, so had a 2.5-year gap on her resume, no industry experience. Because her PhD was so valuable, she was able to apply the strategies in the association, leverage the association's job referral network, and get hired into a top management position at a pharmaceutical company, a biopharmaceutical company. That's what's possible for every PhD. We have many examples. Aparna is another example who got sponsored for your H-1B1. We have a strong majority, about 30% of our associates are international PhDs who are looking to get jobs in different countries. We have associates from 32 different countries who have been hired. And these associates have gone to get jobs in 24 other different countries, right, instead of their own home country. So it's very common. We're used to dealing with it. We interview top immigration lawyers and top immigration specialists frequently to help with this. Because a big part of it is just understanding the process. If you're able to explain the process to an employer and make it seem like not a big deal instead of this big scary thing of sponsoring you, you're much more likely to get a job. And if you get a very strong referral from several other people that you're the right fit for the job, companies will fight for you. They will sponsor you, right? It's not this luck of the draw kind of thing you might think it is. There's a lot of levers that companies can pull to sponsor you and to get you hired if they really want to. And that's the key, is using your immigration status to your advantage. That's right, to your advantage. The fact that you're harder working than others, the fact that you've left so much behind and that you're 100% committed to that career. These can be used to your advantage, and we have it happen over and over again in the association. Plus, there are some loopholes in the immigration system, right? One good thing about it changing so rapidly is there's a lot of loopholes. We've had associates who've stayed on part-time on an H-1B in academia and been able to start working in industry on that part-time H-1B1. So lots of little loopholes, and that's why we do so many interviews with immigration lawyers. Another question that we are asked is, one I already covered, right? I'm from another country. Is the association just for the U.S.? No. Less than 50% of the associates are actually in the U.S. More than 50% are from other countries. We have very strong representation in India, Australia, Asia, Europe, Canada, even Mexico, New Zealand, Iceland, the U.K., of course, all over. So wherever you're at, we've helped. Russia is another one, the Middle East. We've helped associates transition. Another question is, it seems like the association is focused on life science PhDs, but I'm an engineer or a chemist. No matter what your background is, we help PhDs transition. And we have a core blueprint of 100 videos that no matter what your background is, you can transition. Now, the association started off with a STEM slant, of course, and we've helped a lot of STEM PhDs transition, but we've also helped a lot of non-STEM PhDs transition too. So life sciences is probably about 35% of the association right now. Physical sciences, about 20%. Engineering is about 20%. Social sciences is around 20% too. So they're all about 20% now. And then we have about a little less than 10% humanities. And the exact numbers are on our site. So well represented, both STEM and non-STEM. And that's another question we get too, is okay, so you are good clearly for helping STEM PhDs transition, but what about non-STEM, right? First, a side note, social sciences, you are actually considered STEM. But we have lots of social scientists. We have lots of PhDs in education, economics. Also, many PhDs don't realize that something like agriculture is actually under life sciences. We also have humanities PhDs. We have somebody who had a humanities PhD who transitioned into a top job in insurance, believe it or not. PhDs, you're very valuable, so no matter where you want a job, you can get a job. And again, that average starting salary in industry it's $90,000, and you can do meaningful work and be paid well for it because you have that PhD. A couple more questions. We get this question a lot. I've already kind of hit on it, but my situation is very unique. I've been in academia for 10 years, right? Or I've only been a professor, or I'm from, XYZ country, or I have a gap on my resume. It doesn't matter. We have all of that covered. We've been around for several years, and we've optimized the entire process no matter what your background is. We've had people who have been in academia for 13 years who have transitioned. We have people who have been unemployed for 18 months or out of work by choice for 2.5 years to raise a family. Every different scenario you can think of, no visa, right? No status, no industry experience, and we've helped them transition. And you don't have to take my word for it. Go to our informational page, phdsgethired.com, as I mentioned, and read through the testimonials, watch the videos. If you're a PhD or a PhD candidate, you know it's very rare for any PhD to put their face on anything. You usually see testimonials from PhDs where there's no picture, right? But all of our testimonials have a picture and the full name and their company. So you can contact them, you can search them out on LinkedIn. They're real people who were where you were. Now, why would they put their faces on it? Because they believe in the program and they know the program helps and they know that it can help you too. A couple more questions. So question 9, how many of the associates currently have industry jobs? About 30% of the associates have industry jobs currently, which is the ratio that we like to keep it at. We have about 3,500 associates total. Right? About 30% have jobs, and the reason that this is important is because those people who have jobs are able to help you get into those jobs. Right? So you have a lot of people who are searching for jobs, which is a good thing because we have a very supportive, collaborative, positive environment where people are giving each other referrals, introducing each other to people, and we also have those people in industry who can put you in direct contact with employers. And so you can see how the process works. And our private group, our private job referral network is very, very active. People are constantly commenting. They're sharing interview questions as they happen, right? They'll get home from an interview and they'll type in the association's private group the questions they were asked so that you know exactly what questions are being asked in today's job market, not the job market 10 years ago or even 10 days ago. Another question is the association worth the investment? Absolutely yes. And this is one that I really understand because I remember being in an academic PhD and having having very little money. And you think, wow, $300 is so much money. You can't even fathom spending that. But it's because of that poor academic mindset. And not investing in yourself is what will hold you back in your career. Right? Once you transition into industry, we've talked about this and showed data on this, the average salary for PhDs is around $90,000. That's the average salary. Right? So if you make that average salary, you're going to make well over $200 a day, which means the association would pay for itself in 2 days. In fact, even in a starting industry salary, the starting salary, the average is about $75,000 a year. You're still making over $200 a day. Right? So that means, again, as soon as you get a job in industry, within 2 days, the association pays for itself. And we've had lots of conversations. I was just having a conversation with Marcella, she's a training and learning PhD, and she said that was one thing that I couldn't really wrap my head around was, making that much money in industry and if it would really pay for itself that quickly. And she said I was surprised to find out that it did. And you can hear this for yourself and all of those transition stories that are shared with you on that website, phdcareers.com. Some of you are commenting, what about other countries? Yes, in other countries, as a PhD, you can get paid up to $90,000. So we're talking US dollars, euros. In pounds, it might be a little bit less, right? It might be 70,000 pounds. For those of you that are in the UK, you have a very strong currency, so it might be slightly different. Another question, how many associations get hired or how quickly do they get hired? Now, the way we respond to this is every associate gets hired because you get lifetime access. So we are with you through the entire process, right? So if you join the association and even if you have 2 years to go because you're still in your PhD program, we are there with you to help you along every step of the way. Even after you get a job, when it comes up time for your 6-month or 12-month review, we are there to help you. You have lifetime access. We've had a lot of associates come through, get their first job, and then a year or two later, they're up for a promotion or going to get hired into a second job. We are there to help them continue, because career development is a continual thing. That's why we give you lifetime access, because when you get in the program, you are going to get a job. We are going to get you that job. That's why we give you lifetime access. And then how fast it happens is up to you. We've had people join the association and within 4 days get hired. We have one of those testimonials on our site, phdsgethired.com. We've had other people, again, they're 2 years away from defending their thesis, so they won't get hired for 2 years. So it depends on how fast you want to work through the material, but we're there, again, with you every step of the way. And then the last question is, why is the membership fee, why is there a membership fee? There are some free programs or resources out there, but do you really want to leverage free programs and resources to get hired? There's just a different level of quality that you can get in a program that employs numerous faculty members like we have, right? We have many other PhDs, many other MBAs that we employ to help you transition into industry. We have a completely entire, an exclusive dashboard that you have access to with hundreds of videos, hundreds of training videos, all of these things done at an expert level, an incredible website that's been built just for you to use, and this is where that fee comes from. We keep it as low as possible because we understand your situation as a postdoc or as a PhD student, but it's a big system. We have an incredible program that we've put together. It will help you get a job. The association, really, it's those two things. It's that job search blueprint with all those training materials, and then more importantly, it's that private job referral network that you can tap and start getting job referrals right away. Because as you know from what we talked about, most jobs come through referrals. Building up that big referral network by yourself, it's nearly impossible, especially when you're in academia. The association was built to give you access to a pre-made job referral network now, so you don't have to spend years and years trying to get a job. So hopefully this answered some of those questions for you. I know a lot of you have had these questions. If you have any further questions, you can type them in on a comment on this post. Be looking out for our emails. The association does close tomorrow, Friday. What is it? It's August 18th. It closes at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So we got a little over a day left for this enrollment period. And this enrollment, this is the least amount of price you'll ever pay to get into the association. So if you're on the fence, you definitely want to do it now because we are investing in new things. We're building a custom phone app for the association, lots of new things coming. We just added a new members directory and a job reference board and lots of different things. So if you want to get in, the time to get in would be now. All right, thank you all. And for those of you who join, I will see you in the private group.